All right. Hello, everyone. I've got a guest here today for a very special episode of Reconstructor. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi everyone. My name's Aaron. I'm from the Southwest UK, um, and you might know me online as Drago.
Thanks so much for coming on. We're on for two reasons. One, because I always love to have people on to talk about old metas of the past, and two, because you have a champ card. This is the card. It's a zero cost unique asset executive called Drago Ivanov, and it's you can advance this asset, two hosted advancement counters, give the runner one tag, use this ability only during your turn, and the flavor text is tell them Drago would like a word. It's four influence and one to trash, and designed by 2019 European champion Aaryn Drago Byrne. So I guess what sort of like I don't know the process about what it takes for it or what the champ to design process was like. So what were you thinking when you asked for this some card like this, and sort of did it change at all from how you originally envisioned it? I guess.
Yeah, it did quite a bit. So I really nice process, really great to work with work with them. And I think where I came from on this one, out of a few different ideas I had, was I've always enjoyed MBN.
Hmm.
Going back to like when I started playing the game and was playing awful MBN decks, still having fun with awful MBN decks. And the thing I kind of wanted to bring back, I suppose, if I think of cards we don't have anymore, was a bit of that mid-seasons replacements flavor.
Hmm.
Um, so it'd be fair to say I probably came out with something a lot less um, balanced than this to start with, but the idea was take mid-season replacements, so tag Storm, but get to the point where you go, this is actually reasonable to play because there's counterplay. It's not maybe quite so much the old mid-seasons play of you've played the game, you've stolen an agenda, and now you're going to get massively punished for it because I have more money than you.
Yeah.
Um, I also had in my head a little bit of probably countering in like earlier design ideas that I had, countering run meta a little bit. That's a meta I love. I really enjoy run criminal decks and things like that.
Yeah.
And even that freedom deck really is a run deck. You set up some
Yeah.
viruses, you get crowdfunding in the bin, you do lots of running. Um, So this started off being probably a bit more punishing that way. I quite like the idea of something that obviously you had to have it res to get the counters, but when there's a successful run, it maybe starts to accumulate.
Oh, okay.
But
Interesting.
it has a high enough cost to use, like similar to this, use only on the corpse turn, or it needed a click that, and it needed enough tokens that you couldn't just be punished on a last click run.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, there was so like this version I've gotten to play with a bit in play testing. I think it ends up reminding me a little bit of almost like a breaking news play pattern a bit more now.
Yeah, I could see that.
But I think it's still really it's been a really fun card to toy around with them, and I'm looking forward to seeing what people do when they actually try and fit this into optimized lists. Do you have any decks you want to try to put this in right away?
Um, I have to admit, I don't have a view right now. I don't have a bigger view of what's the rest of Midnight Suns looking like, and
Yeah, yeah,
I think I can immediately see that there's just thinking about the booster, and I'm just going to go and look it up because my brain isn't firing so well. So the
yeah,
new city grid we got,
yeah.
I'm immediately thinking, is there some ways to um I'm just gonna say abuse this card. We'll go with that.
Yes.
How can I get this into play and make it happen faster or make it happen safer? I'm immediately thinking of the new grid where two hosted advancement token counters can be moved.
Yeah, yeah, that five Spurs city grid. Yeah.
That's the one. I'm glad you pronounced it.
I don't know that I
I
pronounced it
think that's
right, but
kind
I
of what
did.
I'm
Yeah.
playing. But I would love to I could see me just starting off with, again, trying to remember what's still legal in the future. I will not remember, but starting off with probably some sort of CTM shell,
Mm-hmm.
something that's probably establishing one remote, not necessarily going massively wide, but has a few extra play pieces using the new grid and seeing what we can do. The key thing for me will be what can I leverage off the tags? Felt the last few times I've played CTM, if I lost the game early, the game kind of got away from me. So having
Hmm.
some tools to try and bring it back under control. What was the other? There was an asset or an upgrade that is a trace at the start of the turn for a tag.
Oh, SIU.
That's the one. I've always
Yeah.
found it a little clunky to use because it demands that you're winning the money race.
Yes.
So with it just being advancement tokens, you're trading some time unless you can do something more clever, but you're putting a threat on the board.
Now that we've talked about some fun new stuff that's coming in, let's talk about what won you the champ card. So you were running obviously two different decks in that event, so a Blue Sun and a Freedom, but you thought the
Yep.
Freedom would be good to talk about. So what do you remember of what the meta being like back in 2019, that long distant past?
2019. We've had a few tournaments since then. So looking back at it, and ABR's really refreshed my memory. It was really, I think, runner ascendant meta. So runners just had an awful lot of money. If we think back, like looking at the deck list, we had crowdfunding was still allowed. And when you look at the corp decks, they were very, I think the things that we would all just recognize. The decks like Argus, their decks like going to forget the names. I nearly said Jemison because there was definitely people playing Jemison. Um,
Polana.
but yeah, they're shells that you recognize. There's nothing too much out of the ordinary, I think. And it was viewed very much as a runner. You're trying to take games off the runner with your
Hmm.
corp.
Very cool. So, you're the only Freedom in the top cut in this tournament, and maybe one of the only Freedoms. There was only three Freedoms in this whole tournament. That was what, like
Yeah.
83 players. So,
Yes.
and also I think this is the year that Freedom ended up winning Worlds, if I'm remembering correctly,
Yeah, it would have been
with
very
Pizza.
different list. Obviously, we lost crowdfunding, I think, not far after this. I'd
Yeah.
like to say we took a hand in that, but I'm sure it was other decks as well. Hilariously, the three freedoms are all part of the Bristol meta, so where I play.
Okay.
And one being in the top cuts doing a little bit of a disservice to Algebraic, who so this was was it one of the first tournaments? I feel like it may have been that used the qualifier system. So
Hmm.
when we look at the ABR results, I didn't make top eight for the cut on day one. I made 13th, but there was a cut off at 30 points. So
Mm.
Algebraic, who was playing Bristol as well at the time and still is, was also on Freedom, but then I think he didn't win his qualifier game.
Ah,
So we were on
okay.
very similar decks. There was only a couple of
Yes.
differences.
Yeah, I see another
Um,
person on Blue Sun Freedom, so that's probably them. Yeah.
that's it. That's Ian. So it was in, and in fairness, I take hats off to the guys in Bristol. The decks very much came from them. I was looking for something to play. Was a bit bored and down on whatever I'd been playing at the time, probably
Hmm.
Criminal. And they just told me freedom's fun, and it was.
um, so I guess yeah. So is what's sort of the game plan for this deck, or does it have a game plan? I guess is maybe a maybe even better question. But
I think it's fair to say I kind of probably found a game plan as playing it more.
okay.
And I think it very much revolved around. I packed the deck. If I looked at my list and one that I recall Ian was playing, the only difference we had in them really was a choice between more breakers. I just went, I'm tired of going to games and having those days where you go, where's that one breaker I can't find? Where's that one piece of
Hmm.
kit that I'm missing? Ian, on the other hand, went with a much more fun build, which actually had, I think it was, is it Page Piper, the one that lets you, when you install something, throw copies in the bin.
Oh yes.
And he was using that with crowdfunding. You find one crowdfunding, you find three crowdfundings, which was incredibly broken and fun.
That is fun.
And I think it just ended up lining up quite nicely against the sort of ice that you were seeing in those decks, where there are a lot of stopgaps, a lot of things to hold you up, but nothing's massively punishing. But your main game plan, casting my mind back, was make plenty of money. Step one. Get the breakers you need in the bin so that you can invalidate the remote, and then you're hippoing your way into HQ to start taking away those punishment cards, because these are decks that very much in the meta at the time relying on good operations that they wanted to hold.
Yeah, yeah, and then it's one of the big things is that Argus and probably Near Earth Hub, like all and Outfit, like all those are holding key operations in hand. So Freedom gets a lot of extra utility there.
And there wasn't
And
anybody else or anything else that I can think. I don't think Imp was seeing a lot of play. So the idea of going
yeah,
after the actual operations themselves wasn't as big as it was in like the later Freedom decks that like Pinzo was playing at Worlds.
yeah. This to me looks like a slam keep, but maybe
I'd agree
I,
with that. I'm casting. I'm working my brain to remember. The only thing is it missing some draw, but you've got a crowdfunding that's draw eventually. I think it would be silly to get rid of it.
yeah. Um, so yeah, Argus is one of the I think probably more interesting matchups for this list. Do you sort of remember what the game plan is? So my actually I should say I think my plan is like probably like draw, gamble, laundry, install crowdfunding. Assuming I don't draw anything that changes
It
that.
feels
But
pretty good now. The interesting thing here is getting a data sucker rolling means you actually get trashes. So you're going to start getting trashes off Freedom's ability.
okay,
But equally, they didn't keep the mulliganed. The chances that
yeah,
they have a perfect hand where you're going to get punished. I'm thinking you want to play around 12 credits and 15
okay,
off the top of my head, maybe 16.
yeah, yeah.
I think what you're suggesting sounds perfectly good.
Oh, I should have drawn first there, but okay.
Oh, that's a really nice for next turn.
Yes.
We're looking good there. And I like
Yep.
HQ here. We get a chance to find out what they've got, maybe take out a 0 cost.
Yeah. Yeah, like if we hit an econ warfare there, for example, we're quite happy. All right, going for an early push.
Very
My
early.
sense is it's worth running this, even with probably the price sec in the remote, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to say. It's like, well, any ice is going to keep us out and we lose a click. I can't remember what sort of ice they were probably running, but probably things that are there's going to be
Let's see, we can
Hortons,
take
there's going to be other small.
Yeah, it's like Data Ravens, Mausolus, Hortums, and Border Controls is really what's in this
The
list,
only
it
thing
looks
that
like.
hurts us really is the Mausolus,
Yeah.
and that's not horrendously painful. But do we really want to lose a Liberated if we were to be let through and hit a
That's
price
true.
tag?
Yeah. So I guess
I'd be really tempted to money up. We are playing turntable
yeah.
as well,
Okay, yeah,
so
that
there's
helps.
always a chance to steal that back
Okay.
if it's an overscored agenda.
Okay. So are you thinking like are you just put Liberty down, slam it 3 times, or like how many
Probably like to
draws are you
draw a
thinking
card
of?
and try and see if we can get something to help us next turn. Another
Yeah.
Liberated. We're really looking probably for an inject at the
Yeah.
moment. Our lack of early
Oh
draws
my
might start
goodness, we have
hurting us, but
inject in this meta. Oh wow.
we have
I
inject.
forgot how fun this list was. Okay. I might draw like if it's me personally, I might draw an extra time here just to really try and
I
dig.
could definitely be comfortable with that. Yeah, if they're
Okay.
scoring an agenda this
Oh
turn, not.
jeez. Okay. That's
I
fantastic.
don't think
So
there's NGOs in this list, but I can't
there
remember.
actually are two,
Inject's
but
perfect now. We're great.
yeah, so it's probably install and click the liberated for the rest of this turn.
Yeah, that's comfy. We've got money to fall back on, and it's money to fall back on if we got economic.
Yeah.
Not that we will. We don't run.
Yeah. Oh wow, early
Okay.
GFI. So that suggests to me the hand's pretty awkward.
It does. Nothing
Inject
better to
click one
do.
seems great.
Yeah, it does feel really bad to not be checking HQ. We probably would like to do that,
Well, I'm
but we could
thinking we
always
can.
set up to do it more runs next turn to get the crowdfunding back. But
I guess what
inject seems so good.
I was thinking like you could inject, install data sucker, run HQ, because there's no snares, and then like click the
Nope.
liberated.
No snares, 4 credits. What are they doing to us?
Yeah. Okay, so Yusuf, Black Orchestra, and Corroder. Oh, because
We have a
Paperclip
clone
was
chip.
restricted. I forgot about that. Oh,
Yes,
actually, is the
and
clone chip
Yusuf's
better than
really
the
what we
data
want.
sucker? Should we? Yeah. So should I actually undo that and put the clone chip down to get back the Yusuf instead?
I think it's perfectly fine to do the data sucker. I think we might
Okay.
want it anyway.
Sounds good. Oh, nice. Oh, I guess I think we just do we take 2 damage here? I feel like we do. I guess we can clear the tag.
What if we lose 2 clone chips? We're very unhappy.
Okay.
I'd be tempted to take our time and clear the tag.
Yeah.
kind of the
Yeah,
what's
they
our
have.
rush question.
Yeah, yeah. It's like if they have double econ HHN here, things get a little bit dicey. Um, but the rushing of the GFI is suggestive that maybe their hands are not ideal for that.
Hmm. And we saw an archer as well, so we knew there's one of the other cards.
Yeah. Okay. I've had worse as some nice
Interesting.
draw here.
I've had worse is really nice, especially for just tackling the whatever's at the bottom of the remote.
Yeah. I'm almost thinking like install the clone chip and then run the server one. It's really hard for us
Very
to get.
tempted.
Yeah.
Very, very tempted. Because if they're spending 4 credits on what, a Horton to keep us out, I
Yeah.
guess.
And it doesn't even keep us out because we have the Black Orchestra.
Oh, it's in there. Perfect. Look at that.
Yeah, so like this being Data Raven is probably the worst case.
Hmm.
So we can either grab Corroder or Yusuf here.
Corroder means we get to break both, which
Yep.
is really nice. Whereas Yusuf, I think, doesn't come in with
It doesn't
tokens.
come
I'm
in
going
with
way
one.
back in my brain.
Yeah,
One.
but we can give him one credit and then get through because we can use the data sucker counter to break the end the run.
Seems super good to me.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then it gets us rolling. We've got double the number of virus tokens rolling.
yeah. And like here, I'm almost happy to take the damage now because we've
Yes,
got the
I'd agree
I5
with that.
worse.
We've got
So
12 credits sitting on a liberated.
we'll freedom trash that.
Yeah,
Yep,
seems okay.
seems fine. And then I think it's just click the liberated twice,
What a
right?
time to get rid of 2 of them.
Or we
I
can
don't
run
know.
R&D.
I
Yeah.
would run twice more because we get a
Oh
crowdfunding
yes.
back out.
Okay, I forget that that's a card.
No, I have as well. Looking at the list, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm still
Yeah,
happy to do
damage.
this. Oh, of course. Of
Of
course.
course it is.
Uh, I might run archives or something. I guess running. If we steal an agenda,
Archives is probably safe. What do? We
yeah,
take a tag, we lose a 12 money liberated. Doesn't feel good.
yeah. We're also pretty far ahead, so we can take. We want to take the lowest risk lines. Um,
On how fun some of these metas where I think I can be accused of enjoying the games where you feel like you're throwing missiles at each other.
yeah. All right. Um, do we just play this to draw 3 cards, or do I'm like, or we could draw it and try and like steal another agenda, but.
I'm wondering if that's too cheeky, but with the
Yeah.
hand, it's very tempting.
Yeah.
I don't mind either line actually. I really like both. So where
Yeah.
would you go?
Let's. I'm gonna play out the draw, and then.
Yeah,
Oh, see, yeah, like the turning wheel running HQ twice here seems pretty nice.
we seem
Or
really
run.
good here. Yeah, the
Actually,
other line's
maybe
really
it's yeah,
cute, but it's probably a bit overly cheeky.
yeah. It's maybe only run HQ. I feel weird installing the turning wheel because I'm like, oh, now I actually don't have the credit, so maybe I want to click liberated twice. But this is me not
We
planning
could.
well.
Let's think about this. What we'll do is we'll go to 9 credits.
Yeah.
We don't really have a good read of what's in the hand any longer. Yeah, I think maybe money is sensible.
Yeah, so it may have been correct to not install a turning wheel, make a single run. It just is like it feels weird to have that sitting in your hand and not run, like making a run when you could put it down. But
I'd
in
agree.
retrospect, it
I
might
think
have
we
been
both got
correct.
maybe a little wrapped up in that we were getting such good momentum, but
Yeah,
you make a mistake and you can lose.
yeah. Um, I'm always tempted to like draw. We can also force a res. That basically has to be. Oh
What do
no,
we
it's the
have in the
archer,
bin?
right? So it's probably
If it's an archer, are they going to give up a 3?
to trash a Yusuf and a data sucker, maybe. But yeah,
With
that's a
both of
good
our
point.
clone ships gone. Now we do have a second Yusuf, and we do have a second one, but I kind
Yeah.
of like exactly what you've done in ransacking the hand, just going actually.
Yeah. Okay,
It is
Congress
a
is good.
pity we hadn't found a turntable before we stole all these 2-1s, but
Yeah.
such is life. We could probably do with finding some more cards here as well at some point, just to keep us get
Yeah.
the rest of these crowdfundings.
Yeah, I think a draw is this last click here makes sense. I think I might actually leave this so that he doesn't draw a better card.
That's okay.
Maybe
I
that's
think
too
if we can
cute,
keep
but
if we can keep taking away the punishment cards, the money differential isn't as important.
yeah. And there's the MK, so we can eventually yeah, I mean next turn might even just be run HQ 3 times and draw a card or something.
Could be. I'm cycling one all the time. I suppose actually we're building up turning wheels, we're building up tokens. Yeah, this is it. There's so much value off those runs that even when we're just cycling one crowdfunding, it doesn't feel bad.
Yeah, that is a good point though, is that we're sort of spending 3 clicks to get 3 credits in a card, so it's like it's very marginal gain.
And at this
Sure.
point, they are on
They're on
5 points.
Audacity. Yeah, and on 5 points. So there is actually some real risk here. Um, don't feel like we
We
need any
also
of the.
could potentially have an MU problem, but we just end up losing the data sucker. I think Usuf said 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're probably playing for Hunt the Audacity at the moment. We don't care
Yeah.
about that.
I don't think so. That's a bummer. I might check R&D here.
Yeah, they didn't install before, did they? Or sorry, res before, so we don't think it's the Archer.
Yeah.
Again, if they give
And
up two
honestly,
points for an
if
Archer,
they give up 2 points, it's going to be okay for us. We'll have time to recover. Oh wow. Okay.
okay, fair.
I might still run HQ here just to actually get the crowdfunding, even though we can no longer. Well, actually, we still
Yeah,
can hit the
we may as
Audacity.
yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm fine with taking 2 damage here.
Yes.
Yeah, please hit the MK.
We
Yes,
we
let's
don't want to
go.
lose. We don't want to lose the turning wheel. So the other
Yeah.
option just isn't really acceptable, I
Oh
think.
yeah, that's a good point. Okay. So the challenge is we now don't have a
Interesting.
way to break border control. Um, so I
Yeah,
think
can we
we
just
have to
check
like
bin?
hard
How many
draw.
what's our sorry, our bin, just in terms of
Uh,
breakers.
2 clone ships, 1 Yusuf, 1 Corroder.
So we're hunting
So
the deck really for use of our own corroder, so we have to be careful with
yeah.
any injects we do.
Okay. Yeah. So I think it's just draw. I've had worse is
Find the right tools.
fantastic here.
100%.
I think we keep drawing. We probably can't play the inject right now.
We could be really unlucky if we play it, I agree.
Um, I'm honestly okay with just drawing even past this because
Yeah.
there's nothing. Yeah, like our Hail Mary play is if he goes to 5 with an Atlas counter here, which I think is what he's threatening.
We just clear HQ or we spend all the money on an R&D dig.
Yeah, I'm thinking probably do it on the R&D dig because I don't think he'll have.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think anything that's gone into HQ
Yeah,
has come straight back out again.
yeah. I think it's still just keep drawing here.
Yeah, I think until there's an obvious threat, we're just going to find more things.
Yeah, David's not bad here. Actually helps us deal with the archer pretty easily. Or once, right? Which is our whole plan.
Totally. Yep, agree with that.
Hippo, a little too late.
Hippo, yeah. Maybe not for HQ if we end up reopening HQ, but at the minute these draws
Yeah.
are just a little clunky.
Yeah, I think I'm going to just install the David and move on.
How many 2-1s are in the yogurt fight list? Is it on 3 or
Uh,
is it on 2?
it's on 3.
Just wondering if the turntable still has value.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah. Yeah, and even just swapping it for a GFI if we can find something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. I think the turntable is reasonable enough. and doesn't give away our line as much. I think the inject we just can't play, so I'm like, it's not
We
doing
can't play
anything.
it right now. From
Uh,
our money, I think we're probably click compressed more than we're money compressed.
Agreed. Yeah, the two hippos probably don't need to be kept, but
They'll come in clutch if the game drags on.
yeah, if somehow the game gets into a stall, which I don't think it's going to, but it can. I mean, maybe this is probably the NGO front that we let on the
I was
top of
just
R&D.
wondering, was it playing NGOs? I couldn't quite remember.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, there's 9 breakers and we can't find them. Wild.
This is not a
Uh,
normal line. It's just. I think we just keep going. Then there's nothing else happening.
yeah.
Oof,
Okay, well that's something. I'm just gonna
and
throw
just go in
down.
the bin.
Yeah, I think I might throw down the David preemptively here because we know we're gonna want to spend a click on it at some point.
I think that sounds good.
Let's see. We don't need this. We're not gonna use 3 hippos this game.
We're probably going to use a stim hack over a dirty laundry, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I think that's a reasonable call. The other one would maybe be the second hippo, but I think it doesn't matter too much either way. Yeah, the big threat here is probably a border control on this remote.
Yes, but then we just get into a pattern where we spend maybe enough turning. If we can break HQ again, for example, hippo our way in there, that's
Yeah.
where we're accumulating our tokens, and then we only go for maybe a 3 access on R&D.
Mm-hmm.
You spend enough to make it annoying, to make it a
Yeah.
decision.
Okay, so there's still no threat being built. We do have the 2 crowdfundings available, but I'm not sure it was actually worth spending a turn. Like I feel like it's more just keep drawing here, but maybe
3
I'm wrong.
clicks now to get 2 draws eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we need to know what we're playing with. Ugh. I'd maybe see if they have
Uh,
at worst for next turn. We don't want
yeah,
to
so I'm thinking maybe like
think
click
too much.
deliberated, install a hippo or something like that.
Yep, they know the hippos will be coming.
Yeah. I think we probably are not going to have time for this liberated, but maybe I guess the
I
inject
would
can
be
also
more
go.
inclined to lose the eject than to lose the
Yeah.
money that we might need.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Because there's only 12 cards left in the deck. Crowdfundings are
Mhm.
going to draw.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I guess we have to keep in mind that he's on 14 credits here. Yep. And there goes the agenda in the remote. Though it's not going to be an over advanced atlas, which is probably good for us.
Yes.
Um,
Keep digging.
oh boy. Wow.
What else could be the face down in the remote? Just thinking whether the hacktivist has any value as an annoyance. Or are we pretty sure it's going to be a 3-2 if we
It
wait
could be
long enough for
Rashida,
that?
actually, is the other thing it
Odd,
could
we
be.
haven't seen any yet.
Yeah. I don't mind playing the hacktivist just to make life a little bit more annoying here while we suffer for draw.
Yeah, let's throw out the hacktivist, bin the crowdfunding, bin the extra turntable.
Yeah, been the
If we're
extra.
going to play cautious, we probably don't need that either. Yeah.
Yeah. Fast track. Project
Okay, so it's
Atlas.
probably a price deck, we're guessing.
Yeah. Hmm. So that's going to be an Atlas with a counter, which does now put us on the actual clock. Our 2 barrier breakers in the bottom 7 is unfortunate for us here.
So his next turn is going to be scoring that. The question is, so our rush here is to try and get built to a fork as quick as we can. So
Yeah.
ideally this turn we'd have been ransacking HQ. There's always the option, what are we missing? We're
Well, I
missing a
mean,
barrier breaker. Afshar it could be.
yeah. We actually might be. Yeah, it's actually probably Afshar, which is annoying because it's a lot to break with a. Um, but I feel like we could run HQ if it's the Afshar, it's the Afshar, and then we like run Archives twice potentially and draw a card. Um,
Yeah, we can't hippo Afshar, can we? If I'm
no.
remembering how the game works. Which is a pity.
Wow, still missing it.
Deck does not want us to find these last 2 breakers.
No, it does not. Okay, so it looks like we're just going to get the central accesses, which I think is like just sort of what we have to take here.
I think we take them. And I think we're looking for something nice to kill with Freedom. Lovely.
Yeah.
Could have got the Date Sucker down, but I don't think it's too critical.
Yeah, it would have been probably reasonable, but I don't think we're playing this liberated accounts anymore.
No, not. And we've got the crowdfunding, so we're getting 3 credits for doing nothing
Yeah.
next turn.
Yeah, the biggest challenges were we don't get a second turn, I think, probably. Well,
No,
maybe
so
we do.
we're hoping that the turntable helps us out.
Oh, that's a good call. So do we want to sweep HQ or like run HQ and then sweep it?
They let us in last turn. Would that have been because of
Yeah.
money? If it's Afshar, we just want to break it once and then sweep it, I think. We're expecting a border control, I guess, on R&D.
I think there has to be, right?
It feels like it, but I think we can always take a run at it as well with a stim hack afterwards and test
Yeah,
it and
yeah.
see. Sweeping HQ. Oh, actually, I suppose that's a question then. What's our order? Because we can run R&D, not spend any tokens
Real
if there is
money.
a border control, although we
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
get past border control anyway.
Yeah.
That maybe gives us a decision as to where we spend the tokens, because if we get to the bottom of R&D when there's no border control, we'd probably rather spend them there.
Yeah. Yeah, I think make them have it is sort of where we're stuck at this point.
And if I'm remembering back to the experiences with
Yeah.
this deck, there is a lot of make them have it, and there's a lot of make them, just sometimes having to leave the thing in the server and go, well, I can't get that because I'll ruin my game if I do.
Yeah. I wanted to draw once. I think we just run HQ and
Worth a
sweep
check.
it here. Yeah. Like, we don't really have any other outs here. And we save our freedom trash for 1, 2.
Audacity is
3,
what we're looking for,
4.
isn't it?
Yeah, Audacity here.
Is that enough tokens?
There we go. Okay, I might just like laundry archives here so that we're let like the HHN Econ Warfare doesn't hit us as hard.
I think that sounds good. And we're going to drip 3 next turn as well.
Yeah.
It's a tall order to get to us.
Yep.
We got it. Got that Audacity. It can get a bit dicey, but you can get rewarded. I think that's the only one in this deck, if it's the one I'm thinking of.
I'm pretty sure Argus has pretty much only ever been on one Audacity. Or like for most of its lifetime, it's only been on a single Audacity. Oh man, this Oaktown though. Okay, so basically we need this to be Corroder.
It does.
Oh, let's go. So just not 2 border controls on the remote, right?
Do we want to stim hack this? Oh no, we don't. It's border controls.
Yeah.
I
I think we can stim hack the second one, yeah. Yeah, sure, let's hippo this. I guess we have the other hippo.
We're not using the hippos for a lot else right now.
Yeah, eventually we might use the hippo for the R&D run. I don't even think we install the MK here. I think we just...
No, what's the trace on this? Because it's 2 pumps with MK. You take the trace, don't we?
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, we're going to be very vulnerable to HPT here.
We are.
Though I think there's only one in the game,
and we didn't see any in the hand, did we, when we swept?
No, there was one in the hand, unfortunately.
Ah, was there? I missed
so I think we might be dead here. Unless you... Yeah.
Trying to think if there's any cuter things we could have done.
Yeah.
We're going to pick this up. We can...
Wait. Oh, shoot.
They border controlled.
Yeah, and then I accidentally drew because the window went away. So we're going to be... This is a prize sack. So that puts us at 1, 2... So that puts us at 3 tags. So we're just dead on board, I think. Um,
Yep.
yep. Yeah, if one of these
What
hostiles
else
had
have we
been,
got an
yeah,
option on? No, we don't. There's nothing else in the hand. Or how did
yeah,
they
and we
get this
don't have
agenda? Was
farms.
this through
I think this was top of R&D.
They've spent their token though.
Oh, did they just grab it with a token? I might have missed that.
Yeah, I
Yes,
think I
that
missed
is
it as
what they
well.
did. Yep, that's what they did. All right.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Is there anywhere else we can pick up an agenda? But I don't think there is. I think HQ probably wasn't one on the top of the deck. We're not going
Yeah.
to get 2 runs on R&D. Yeah, we're
Yeah.
dead on board. But I think we take it anyway.
Yeah, I think we just go and take it and say GG. Yeah, if we had a way to get them down to below 4 credits, we could do it, but yeah.
I think that was a good showing though for the deck. All the same, we
Yeah.
got very unlucky with where those agendas turned up.
Yeah, we did. Doesn't actually matter what we take here. We'll take the 2 meat though. GG.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's totally fair.
That's how the matchup goes sometimes. And yeah, we got 4 agendas a decent amount of the time. That's winning. We just got like one of the few permutations that doesn't. So
Yeah, we threw a couple of oddities in there. Like we find a turntable earlier. We get
yeah,
rid of those 1 pointers. I was very surprised by the Archer and R&D and throwing 2 points away for it. I think that
yeah,
I think that caught us by surprise.
yeah. I wasn't reading that as being there. I was reading it as being on server 1, which is a fun little line. So
Very much. But I think we still saw the gist of what goes on. Crowdfunding's a bit of a monster. You get the virus tokens running, and you're just taking out those operations as
yeah,
often as you can.
for sure. Yeah, I might even this is like I know UK has those like classic lists, and I feel like this could be a matchup, that could be in there. It seems like a very fun one.
Yeah, it is probably just underrepresented because I'm not sure Freedom saw an awful lot of play really until it
Yeah,
suddenly did.
yeah, it just like was bad, 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 spiked up, and then more or less kind of collapsed again. Aaryn, thank you so much for your time. It's been great to have you on, and great to talk about your champ card and this very fun Freedom deck that I'm now going to try and convince friends to let me play against them. And yeah, thank you so much.
Hey, it's been brilliant. Thanks so much for letting me talk about Netrunner a bit and talk about old, probably slightly ridiculous metas.
All right, thank you.